I said, now all you vinyl varmints and all you record collecting crew, baby, have I got a box of records for you? Have I got a box of records for you? Hey everybody, it's Attic Daddy. We're here at Daddy Land, Attic Underground, with my good friend Shadow Man.
Hello.
How's it going, my boy?
Same as it always was. Same as it always was.
Okay. Imagine the
Oh, easy there. Oh,
it's Revenge of Frankenstein.
okay. You can't fall on.
No, he's okay.
You okay? Get into the show.
I remember one time Susan, my spouse, Susan, she said to me, so this DVD thing, does that mean we have to get all the Rolling Stone stuff that we have on tape now again? And I said yes.
Okay.
So
no debate.
This is what I would consider a small bank of indispensables here. A lot of them were wonderful Christmas presents and stuff that I had on beta tapes and VHS tapes converted to beta and DVDs converted to beta until I got my own machine. So. And we're going to start off today with this lovely thing, fairly recent, and this is the Rolling Stones at the Marquee Club. Beautiful little double box here. Marquee Club was 1971 performance where they did their debut, and this has got an extra CD with it of outtakes that I've never seen before. There's a version of I Got the Blues where they just really mess up the ending. Keith does pretty well, keeps playing when they should have quit, and it's quite humorous. He says, I'll see to it personally.
Like the Marquee, you may have seen the poster in the last video.
Yes, that's the one we had up in the last video. If we would have thought it out, we should have had it up there. Yeah. But anyway. Okay. This is Hyde Park. Wonderful. Now, I've had a copy of Hyde Park for years. I think it was on beta tape number 7. You know, I taped it off of TV, City TV, I think, in Toronto. This one has a lot more stuff to it. And, of course, all these things I mentioned before, that live shows were on 16mm at one time. And now they've all got the Criterion Collection effect done in them, and the restoration and everything. But there's a lot more of the British bikers in this.
Oh.
But we're quite a bunch.
Riding around on
dancing
scooters.
and dancing with each other and everything. Rock and Roll Circus. Oh, I remember when this was finally released. I had a black. It was in color, of course, but I had a black and white bootleg. And this is wonderful with Taj Mahal and Marianne Faithfull and the supergroup with John Lennon and Mitch Mitchell and Keith and Eric Clapton.
Oh, I see Yoko Ono.
1968. This was going to be a Christmas special. Of course, the Who were on, yes, too. Christmas special, but they never did show it. And it's one of my favorites, the live version of Parachute Woman and the last of Brian that you're going to see playing live. Playing Wonderful Slide on No Expectations. Okay, 1972. I went up to Toronto and seen this when it came out, I remember. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rolling Stones. Now this is like the Mick Taylor period, a huge tour that books have been written about and other movies made. And yeah, Mick Taylor and Keys and Price on the horns, and what a powerful unit. As much as I love Brian Jones, I think this would have been probably the time to had a choice to go see them live.
Good timing.
Okay, here's some Ed Sullivans. And of course they made about 5 or 6 appearances. I should know these things exactly on Ed Sullivan, right up to doing Gimme Shelter and Honky Tonk Women and Love in Vain for their last shows. But this, you can either just watch the shows or you can watch the whole hour featuring Steve and Edie Gourmet and all those
really?
things that.
That's
Yes.
the whole show?
Yes.
Oh,
It's like
that's
4 whole shows.
wow.
And with the Stones' appearances on them, of
On
course.
all 4
Comedian London Lee. Yes,
Yeah,
I don't know if you
okay.
remember London Lee or not. He was a favorite of ours, so yeah. Of course, the ever dramatic Gimme Shelter movie. The late 60s. It was in December 1969. I can remember some interviewer asking Mick Taylor, do you think it was the end of the 60s? He goes, yeah, it was December 1969. It was the end of the 60s. I was
Literally.
like, yeah, yeah. Great stuff.
Duh.
Great stuff. Lovely little book.
Let
And
me
everything.
get
And
close here, Kevin.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Of course,
see
this
the-
has got a great Jefferson Airplane in it before Marty Ballin gets knocked out by an angel. And there's some Flying Burrito Brothers footage, which is fairly rare, and it shows them recording Wild Horses, which actually London Records sued them and said, you were recording on our dime, because they didn't go over the Rolling Stones record yet. So they made a settlement, and Wild Horses is on one of the Hot Rocks albums,
Okay.
which London had the rights to for that. But I'm sure most people have seen this. If not, it's more than a concert film. This, Charlie Is My Darling, real early tour of Ireland. Early tour of Ireland.
It's time for another toast. Cheers.
Yes.
Clink.
Cheers.
Yummy.
This was put together by Andrew Oldham, their manager, and it just showed them touring Ireland, ancient old Ireland at the time, 65 I imagine it is, and them traveling on the trains, they didn't have their own, just trains and
They didn't
rented
have their own
cars.
train?
No, they didn't have their own train yet. Their silver train is a-coming. But anyway, this is really wild. Again, another thing that's been restored, and it's beautiful. This is one of my favorite movies. I'm sure most people have seen this performance with Mick Jagger from 1968. Now, if you're a fan of Guy Ritchie movies, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, all those, they all go back to this. This is so much set down a lot of the rules for that British crime. And it's about a criminal that hides out at this retired rock star's house, of course. Turner Purple and Anita Pallenberg's in it, and it is layered and dense. And I recommended watching it about 40 times, and then you can start enjoying it when you watch it for the next 20. But anyway, it gets watched around here a lot. A couple things I'm going to throw in while I'm here. Here's a Let It Be bootleg.
Wow.
Which they still, they have the Let It Be sessions. Let It Be sessions that they've been showing on Disney or whatever, for God's sake. You know the ones that are out now, right?
Yeah, it's
Which
8 hours longer.
This is doesn't present them in such a positive, nostalgic light. This is pretty painful, some of it, I think. But some good music in it, but there's a lot of tension. And of course all the rooftop films are the same.
Yeah. Pardon me.
Okay, one more, and this isn't the Rolling Stones, but it is in England, and this is a beautiful, beautiful T-Rex box. Born to Boogie, filmed by Ringo. Lovely, and then you get some concert footage too. Big book. And if you love Mark Bolan, the parts of the movie are just, I guess the word silly is invented for it. Kind of a
Zany?
sub-Monty Python kind
Raucous?
of. Just keep the camera on me and everybody will be delighted, my fans. And I'm sure that's true. It's like an Elvis movie. You know what I mean? They're just made for his fans.
Yeah,
And Mark Bolan. I love T-Rex and Mark Bolan, the early Tyrannosaurus Rex, all of it.
T-Rex.
Larry
Bang
the
it gone?
Lamb. Bang a Gong.
Get
Which
It
would be their
On?
biggest hit. Because they weren't huge in America. Their tours were not, My friend, John Wilgosh, hi John, he saw them open up for Three Dog Night I mean, that was
Wow.
the kind of stuff they were huge in England, but over here they were kind of an opening act.
That's pretty
So,
cool.
Yeah.
And it's the summer music festival season, and there's a lot of festivals in the area. And they've all announced who's playing at their venues. Shania Twain's up in the Barrie area. I heard a familiar name, Tudhope Park. We're
Right,
losing
Aurelia.
We're losing
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And another place that hasn't announced yet is right here in Port Colborne. We don't know who the main attraction is, but they're trying to build anticipation. Might be Max Webster. Come on
Build
down
that
there.
anticipation.
I know Stoner likes Max Webster. Get your papers in order and come on over. It's just 50 miles across the lake from Dunkirk, and you're in Port Colborne. It's right there.
In the
We can
Dunkirk,
wave.
Salamanca area.
Dunkirk, we're right across the canal. We can wave hands. Bring your binoculars. We can probably see each other. How about that?
Well, cheers.
Well,
What do we got today? We've got the Vulture out of the Aurora customizing kit number 2, and came with wolves and rats and all that for to put around your models. This is a surf wagon, and I think it's like a Hawk or a Lindbergh, one of the cheaper companies, because you put the tires together. They're not rubber.
jeez,
Yeah,
yeah. Are they rubber
Kinda,
or
yeah,
plastic?
I mean, look at that on the bottom. That's not an AMT model.
No, there's nothing
No,
there. There's,
no. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it's easy.
And this is one of the last Aurora models, one of the ones banned in the United States. This one's
Why?
called the Victim.
Well, there you go, the
Yeah,
victim.
the Victim. But you
So
had
you
it
can tell
too.
she's,
I always wonder why it was such a small size, because it doesn't really go with the large monster models.
Huh.
But there was a whole set of these, Dr. Deadly, and they sent them all to Canada. So the last ones that were for sale were in Canada.
Barbie's hillbilly friend comes to town.
That's the anti-Barbie, yeah.
Mm.
And thanks for giving us the idea to do some DVDs. I didn't know if we should or not, but we will be back to some vinyl in the future.
Too late now. Well, actually,
It's too late now.
It's not too late yet. It's,
Yeah.
but I'm sure
Yes.
we'll make it to the airwaves.
Broadcast.
Mm.
Yes. Well, what the fun.
Exactly. And you've had your teeth.
Backwards.
Oh, play it backwards.
Yeah, I should bother looking. Although they're getting pretty hard to see.
Okay, you got room for one more? There you go. Let's find one more little tiny piece. Here you go. One more. Down the hatch. This is baby warbler, I believe. Not too sure, but I think it is. We'll be back later to check in on you.